The new Motorola G6 is here, and with it we also have the G6 Play and the G6 Plus. And in today's video I'm gonna tell you all about them. Hey guys, Sundar here from C4E Tech, and before we begin, hit that bell icon so that you can keep up with all the latest phone launches. Last year, the budget-conscious G series from Moto opted to go for metal when it comes to build, but now with the G6, Lenovo Moto has decided to step it up a notch. We have the premium glass sandwich design, and the Gorilla Glass covered back on the G6 as well as the G6 Plus looks absolutely gorgeous. The only one left out is the G6 Play. The lower-end variant of the G6 family has to do with a clear plastic back. Despite that, it looks quite good and it almost reminded me of the back of the Oppo F7. And while it is nice to see Moto stepping up their build, the design choice that I'm sure you guys would appreciate the most is the decision to go with Max Vision 18:9 displays on each of the three devices. Now that doesn't mean they are all the same displays. The G6 and G6 Plus get Full HD Plus panels. The former sports the smaller 5.7-inch screen, while the Plus model gets a slightly larger 5.9-inch panel. The Play retains the same size screen as the regular G6, but this 5.7-inch panel sports a lower resolution 1440 by 720 pixel resolution, or as most would like to call it, HD+. So what's powering all these pixels? Well, at the top end we have the Moto G6 Plus, Snapdragon 630 chip, 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage, or 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. The G6 sports a Snapdragon 450 chip with 332 and 464 RAM and storage combos, while the G6 Play runs on Snapdragon 430 in global markets, 427 in the US, and comes in 216 and 332 RAM storage configurations. Now, I'm quite disappointed with the choice of processors here. I mean, Moto could probably have kitted the G6 Plus out with at least a 636. But the surprising part for most people would be the G6 kitted out with the 450. The earlier generation G5 Plus came with a Snapdragon 625 chip, and the 450 is a weaker chip than that. Yeah, I know I'm comparing a Plus model to a normal one, but here's the thing. The Moto G5 Plus was launched at $229, but the regular G6 model cost $250. I don't see what Moto's done here. I'll hold off till we get our hands on the Indian variants though. The G6 series though redeems itself when it comes to battery capacity. The G6 sports a 3000 mAh battery, the G6 Plus gets a slightly beefier 3200 mAh power pack, and the G6 Play, well, it sports an absolute mammoth 4000 mAh battery. Now, while the G6 and the G6 Plus sport processors that are built on the 14nm FinFET process, the G6 Play is left power hungry with either 430 or 427, both of which are manufactured on the 28nm process. Anyway, given the huge battery capacity, we can expect the battery life to be great. And yeah, all three also sport USB Type-C as well as Motorola turbocharging. So, good job Moto. Okay, time we talk cameras now. The G6 and G6 Plus sport dual rear cameras, but they aren't the same optics. First up, the G6 Plus. We have a 12 plus 5 megapixel setup to the back, with the primary camera sporting a f1.7 aperture, while the secondary depth sensing unit gets a narrower f2.2 aperture. Coming to the G6, everything remains the same, except the primary camera here sports a narrower f1.8 aperture with a 76-degree field of view, 2 degrees narrower than on the Plus model. There's also a difference when it comes to video recording, as the G6 is capped at 1080p, while the G6 Plus gets support for 4K. Both these cameras sport similar feature sets, including a live focus feature with selective blurring, monochrome photography, and a time-lapse feature that I'm excited to try out. As for the G6 Play, well, it sports a single 13-megapixel f2.0 snapper to the back and misses out on a few features. To the front, all three phones seem to sport the same 8-megapixel f2.2 selfie shooter and a front-firing flash. And finally, software. Well, we know what to expect from Moto here. It's stock Android Oreo with a few Moto features baked in. The usual Moto gestures are present and accounted for, and with the G6 and G6 Plus, we also get the Moto voice commands. And given the front-mounted fingerprint sensor, both the phones also integrate navigation gestures into it. The G6 Play though misses out on these, as the fingerprint sensor for this device is integrated into the Moto logo at the back. Finally, let's talk price. And even before we do, here's a little tidbit. The G6 series had been launched in an event in Brazil, and we aren't sure which variants will make it to India and what will be the Indian price point. We do have the US pricing though. The base variant of the G6 Play cost $199 or around 13,000 Indian rupees, while the G6 cost $249 or about 16,500 Indian rupees. The G6 Plus though won't be making its way to the US, so we have just the European pricing, it's 299 euros. In Indian currency, that would equate to nearly 24,000. Rumors though seem to indicate that Moto will be giving the G6 Plus a skip in regions where they launched the X4. But the G Plus is probably Moto's bestseller in India, so I highly doubt they'll skip the G6 Plus, although we have the X4 here. Anyway, at what price do you think Moto should launch these new phones here in India? Let us know in the comments down below. Tell us how you feel about the hiked up prices. And if you're a fan of the Moto series, share this video on your social media feeds. If you hate budget offerings with stock Android, well, you know what to do. But if you did like this video, drop us a like, subscribe to C4E Tech, and click on that bell icon to turn on notifications for our future videos. This here is Sundar, leaving for the moment. Have a great day.